Tonight on AEW Countdown to All Out, we take a special look at the final fight. Is this it for Chris Jericho? Does the AEW Women's World Champion Dr. Britt Baker have what it takes to retain her title? Plus, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks, take on the Lucha Brothers in a steel cage. And the AEW World Champion Kenny Omega takes on his nemesis Christian Cage. But up next, JR sits down with the best in the world, CM Punk, ahead of his match with Darby Allin this Sunday. AEW Countdown to All Out starts right now.
The thing we want to talk about is All Out, September 5th. That's the official reason that you and I are sitting here. But I want to say it's good to work with you again.
It's such a pleasure to be sitting here talking to you. We've done this before.
A couple of times.
Yeah, it's cool to be doing this, but in a different environment.
Who'd have thunk it a few years ago?
Not me.
Me neither, man. Yeah. Me neither. I was honored to be on the broadcast team for that Rampage in Chicago at the United Center, which was the most memorable moment that I can remember, because even Foley getting tossed off the cell, nothing struck me personally and emotionally like that night, because it renewed my love affair with my mistress, pro wrestling.
Wow.
That's the best compliment I can give you. I fell back in love after 40 years.
So heading into your debut and return to the professional wrestling ring, are you nervous for tonight?
Yes. You want me to expand on that?
Yes, he said. How do you feel? Yes.
He asked me if I was nervous. Just shut the up. We're doing some real professional.
So what do you need?
Real professional stuff here. Yes, I am nervous. But it's not a negative thing, because there was some pretty big moments in my career where I wasn't nervous at all, and that meant I didn't care. So being nervous is good, because it means I care.
What did you think walking out there? Did you anticipate the ferocity of this reaction?
I think I had a good idea of what the reaction was going to be, but doubts creep in, and you question yourself. You question, do these people remember me? And I was nervous, but everything washed away the instant that music hit. And I heard the first riff, and then I couldn't hear anything else.
I've heard loud pops, and we all love the term the Road Warrior pop.
Yeah.
God bless them both. But man, the sustained pop, the sustained roar, grown men crying. Did you think it would be to that level?
No, I didn't think it could be like that. But I think this business, you have to balance your ego out with being humble. There's always somebody around the corner that's waiting to watch you fall flat on your face.
I'm back because I want to work with that young talent that had the same passion that I had stamped out. I'm back because there's a couple of scores to settle in that locker room.
It's uncharted territory for me. I think it's uncharted territory for a lot of the fans too. They've been, I feel, waiting for me to come back. But not only come back, but to come back and be that CM Punk before everybody knew who CM Punk was to an extent. The guy that, like you said, loved pro wrestling. The guy whose passion came through. And I think it was the perfect storm. All that collided, and they saw it, and I felt it, and it's kind of nice to get your flowers while you're still alive, you know?
August 20th, 2021. I'm back.
You interacted spontaneously with so many fans at ringside. Did you actually know any of those people?
Well, there was a couple of my family members, like my sisters and my brother in the front row.
You must have known somebody for tickets.
Those are the only people who wanted tickets. The people I jumped on, stage dive, I have no idea who those guys were. I think they got to do a little bit of a better job catching me next time.
Yeah.
And there will be a next time.
There will be a next time. That's what everybody wants to hear more of. I read online or somewhere, one of our guys told me that you had been talking to Tony Khan for quite some time before making your decision. What does quite some time mean? A year, year and a half, 2 years? How long have you guys been chatting?
I think initially, I mean, it's probably been about 2 years. You know, this isn't a decision that I came to lightly. Ultimately, it was my decision, but, you know, the boss of the house, April, I had to run everything by her. And it needed to be the right time. I think the more I thought about it and the more I digested it, and then the more I saw AEW, the more it helped my decision. And, you know, there's just the thought process going into it is so much. There's a lot of baggage, there's a lot of pain, and there's a lot of hurt that you got to sift through. And, you know, I do think, you know, you're never going to get better in the place that made you sick. So I had to be removed from it all. And, you know, they say time heals all wounds. I don't know if it heals all of them, but that's why I make the distinction of, you know, where I was and where I am now. They're two separate things.
You and Tony are having these talks for quite some time. Kind of piqued your interest, or at least I'm curious again. Maybe could I do it? Do I want to do it? Do I want to make a commitment? So I'm assuming you started watching our shows, watching Dynamite and others. What was your initial thought when you were watching it? Did you think this brand's got a chance, it's going to find its heartbeat?
I used to go to a lot of punk rock shows when I was a kid, you know, and to see bands like, you know, Green Day play a bowling alley in front of 250 people. And then the next year, they're selling out the Aragon Ballroom, and then, you know, now they're doing stadiums. It's like I see a lot of kids that a lot of times I feel certain people would dismiss them. Oh, they're the shits. Well, no, let's try to help them instead of just writing them off. And I love the youthful exuberance of it all. There's an energy to the show, and it translates because you can tell that the fans are having the time of their life. And it looks like every Wednesday night, that's somewhere I want to be.
It surprised me, maybe better said, it shocked me when you called out Darby Allin.
I will see you, and I'll see Sting, and I'll see all of you September 5th.
How did Darby Allin come on your radar that you wanted to fight him in your first match back?
15-year-old CM Punk rolling around in the backyard with his friends. Darby Allin would have been his favorite wrestler. Kids skateboards, kids punk rock. There's something to him. There's parts of him that I feel that some people dismiss. And I think he has a chip on his shoulder. I guess he reminds me of me, so why not?
Seeing what Chris has accomplished in AEW since the debut of our brand has been nothing short of extraordinary.
If you think about the labors of Jericho and what MJF put Chris through, Jericho somehow, some way was able to prevail and get victory after victory, except in the fifth and final one.
If Jericho loses against MJF, per the stipulation, Jericho has agreed to retire.
You can run if I can't beat MJF. maybe I don't belong in AEW anymore.
I don't think anyone understands the ramifications that he felt throughout the wrestling world without having Chris Jericho in it. I'm worried.
Chris has a way. He's got this Wolverine healing factor.
At the end, I thought he was going to make it through.
Jericho has fought through the odds. He has overcome the odds.
Chris has battled adversity his whole career.
MJF has a very real chance of ending the career of Chris Jericho at All Out.
Wow! Right hand from downtown Winnipeg.
There is nothing but momentum right now in the favor towards the younger, psychotic MJF.
Who knows what he will do if he beats Chris Jericho at All Out.
Chris Jericho is a better talent. Chris Jericho is a better person.
He is one of the most important professional wrestlers of any generation.
Chris can't lose this match. He can't.
Sooner or later, he'll cut you down.
When Dr. Britt Baker had her leg broken last year, a lot of people saw that as a career setback for Britt, but really she made the most of it.
It wasn't an accident. It was, in fact, a conspiracy.
She stayed relevant. She used her gift of gab to keep herself on TV and to keep herself in the front of mind in the women's division.
Britt Baker's elevation, becoming the baddest bitch on the block, wasn't by accident.
I promised you this would be the start of a whole new era, and damn was I right.
She's got it! The LUCHA! The tap! We got a new champion!
I outworked everyone, and no one was along for the ride with me from day one.
We understand her intelligence level. Going through dental school while you're training to be a pro wrestler, super ambitious, and she pulled that off. She has desire, she has passion, she has drive, and she's super competitive.
I've always been at the top of AEW. I've always been the face of this division, and I've always been the baddest bitch on the block.
I fully believe she's the very best in the business, not just in her gender, but in the business, period.
I bleed black and gold just as much as anybody in here, but we can all admit this has been a difficult year for us.
There's some people that move the needle, and there's some people that don't. And Britt Baker moves the needle.
So Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I present to you hope.
Being champion, great. Staying a champion, another entirely different thing.
When Chris Statlander was injured in 2020, that was heartbreaking. Chris Statlander took that adversity and she turned it into opportunity.
Chris Statlander is back! Chris Statlander looking better than ever!
Since she's come back, she's not lost a match. She has not lost a step.
I know when I first came to AEW, I was calling one of her matches on Dark, and I predicted one day she's gonna be the AEW Women's World Champion. And I still believe that one day is gonna happen.
Statlander has got more physical skills. She's bigger, she's stronger. To me, Chris Statlander is a wrestler. Aside from the stars and this moon and Andromeda, this and all, that's way past my pay grade, folks.
Sure, Chris Statlander has this out of this world from another galaxy, a little boop on the nose, and everything's fine. But don't mistake yourself as an incredibly talented athlete and a very smart competitor. And I think that's one of the main concerns that Britt Baker should take into account with Chris Statlander.
Chris Statlander, you being an alien is a crock of shit.
And it doesn't get any bigger than what we're going to see at All Out. Fans from all over the world. This is the major stage.
Chris Statlander can definitely beat Britt Baker.
Every single box is checked in Chris Statlander's favor. She definitely is the favorite going into All Out.
I think these two ladies are gonna tear it up, and it's gonna be tooth and nail.
I just don't see Britt Baker losing.
I don't think anybody will beat the baddest bitch on the block. Baker wins in a slobber knocker. Undefeated Chris Statlander, #1 contender for Dr. Baker's championship.
I know there's a lot of doubters out there that don't think I deserve to be in this spot. I don't care about them. In fact, I enjoy hearing their criticism because they don't understand what it takes to get to the spot that I'm in.
QT Marshall wanted a few words right here.
First of all, it's Marshall, Tony. Let's talk about what shocked the world last week. Tell them. What happened, Tony?
Well, the Factory defeated the Nightmare Family when Anthony Ogogo knocked out Cody Rhodes.
No. Get to the details, Tony. QT Marshall pinned the Prince of Wrestling, Cody Rhodes, in the middle of the ring. Say it.
QT Marshall pinned the Prince of Wrestling, Cody Rhodes, in the middle of the ring.
Don't patronize me, Tony. Say it like you mean it.
QT is just he's not a nice human. He's a terrible person, put it that way.
A week ago, Road Rager South Beach strap match. Tremendous performance by you.
Whoa. Tony, what's with the attitude all of a sudden? Do you think I'm buried by the golden shovel Cody holds? Solo, give me that. I should pour this right on you.
Come on.
I'm kidding, Tony.
Come on, jeez.
I would never do that.
So look, we're going to... Oh, God, QT, good... What?
What? You're gonna hit me? I didn't think so. Tony Schiavone, you wanna say you don't like me as a human being? I don't give a crap. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. This is show business, not show friends.
I'm gonna apologize to you for what we're about to do to your son, Chris Schiavone, right now. Don't do this.
Oh! All right, I apologize for everything. How about that, you son of a bitch?
Oh! What the hell? Now wait just a damn minute. I think business is about to pick up.
Paul White had been really disgusted with QT and his antics. Paul's never had time for QT. This upped the ante. Thank goodness he came out, and I would be the last person that would want to get into Paul White's way.
It's always good to have friends in pro wrestling. It's always good when your friend is the biggest man in pro wrestling.
It was amazing to get back in that ring.
Paul, with all due respect, there's a reason Tony Khan hired you as an announcer. 5 operations in the past 18 months alone.
I have a match. And guess who my opponent is? At All Out, it's going to be Paul White one-on-one versus QT Marshall.
This match means a lot to him as far as being able to validate the fact that he has returned from an injury that most cannot. But he has been cleared to wrestle. He's ready to go. How do you beat Paul White with that purpose that he has? You could see it in his eyes. There's no way QT Marshall beats Paul White. And I'm saying that objectively, not as a guy who is pissed off at QT.
Oh! What the hell just happened? Now the shot to the head by Billy Gunn. Diamond cutter by QT Marshall. And now I only wonder if he can even make it 100% at All Out.
Miro, the reason why I ran out, you said my name. My name is my name, my dude. That is serious to me. I can't be having people calling me out and then I don't answer. That makes me look like a chump. Real simple street mathematics there. I will not look like a chump. No offense to Lee Johnson, no offense to Fuego, no offense to anyone else you have fought for that TNT championship. But they weren't ready. They weren't grown men yet. I'm a grown man. I like this. I like the violence. I like the fight. Because without a fight, I'm pretty much lost. Call yourself God's favorite champion. Guess what? I'm your punishment. Your God has sent me here to punish you. Miro, I know you're chinking your armor, and that's your neck. Why is the DDT your kryptonite? Because your neck is your kryptonite. Your neck is the chink. Exploder suplex. Spinning back fist. Everything on the neck. I'll tell you my game plan. I'm going after your neck. I'm going after everything that you love and desire. And that's that TNT championship, because without that championship, you're no longer God's favorite. Take my hand. We're gonna walk through hell together. And then maybe, if you survive that, you'll get to go to your God's heaven. Doubt it.
Eddie Kingston talking about DDTs and kryptonites. God's favorite champion stays down only for his wife in a hotel room after a victory. The Mad King will realize that redemption comes only after agony. And I'm coming to bring both.
God's favorite champion!
This is the word of
of the Redeemer.
Everybody wants a piece of AEW these days. They're coming from everywhere. Now that we're the hottest promotion in the world, selling out buildings, changing the game. What makes them think it's so easy? Don't forget, I'm the guy who carried the world championship on his back. I'm the guy who waved the flag for this company through dark days, through dark times, through empty buildings. I think it's about time we send a message about what it really takes to be on top in AEW, about who's still at the top of the food chain in AEW. Do we get the FedEx back from Tokyo today? One contract, signed, sealed, delivered. Only one. Only one guy with the balls to step through the door. Only one guy with the balls to chase the boogeyman in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I couldn't believe it. KOJIMA. SATOSHI. And I thought, man, what a treat for the fans in Chicago to see a legend of New Japan, a legend of All Japan, live and in person. That's a real treat for the fans. When I started thinking about it, I am insulted. This crazy-ass old man who wants to step in the ring, go toe-to-toe with me? KOJIMA. KOJIMA-san. Looks like you got a death wish. You want to go out in a blaze of glory, that's fine. Once that bell rings, I got no respect for anybody. I'm trying to take your head off every time I hit you. I'm trying to knock you senseless. Every time I drop you on your head, I'm trying to break your neck. Every time I squeeze you by the throat, I'm trying to break your esophagus and put a hole in it so you have to eat through a straw for the rest of your life. September 5th, it all out. The public execution of the legend, Satoshi Kojima.
Look who it is! Oh, I know, it's the greatest tag team of all time, the Young Bucks. The EVPs, the extremely violent people.
Some people might think that the Young Bucks, their cockiness might go too far. They might be a little bit over the top, and it gets annoying.
The Young Bucks have bought into their own hype.
Really, guys? That doesn't make any sense because for about the past year now, we have shown the entire AEW tag team division that we're the best of all time, and there's ain't nobody in our league.
Tony Khan has informed me he's had enough, okay? And we're gonna have a tag team tournament. The winner will get a world title shot in Chicago against you guys in a steel cage. What?
The Lucha Bros were not anointed this match. They had to earn their right to be the #1 contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championship. I like that aspect of matchmaking. You earn what you get.
There's a history that goes back with these two sets of brothers. They don't like each other. They're ultra competitive against each other. They want to outdo each other.
It was all out in 2019. Escalera de la Muerte, the ladder match. Really one of the best tag team matches of that year.
We have proven that we are collectively the greatest group of world champions in the history of this business, and they're gonna have to retire our dang jerseys up high in the rafters because they're gonna have to bury us with these belts.
The cage is an interesting stipulation.
We've seen time and time again the Young Bucks relying on the other members of the elite to help them win.
This is the way to level the playing field and really give the Lucha Brothers a chance to win it.
I've had a lot of steel cage match experience in my career. It's unforgiving. It doesn't care about your hopes. The only thing a steel cage cares about is busting you open. So I hope the Young Bucks are taking this into consideration. Because if they haven't planned for it, they're going to kiss those tag team championships goodbye.
For years, Kenny Omega was known as one of the best wrestlers in the world, if not the best wrestler in the world.
Well, one of the reasons that Kenny Omega has been able to maintain a quote-unquote stranglehold on the AEW world title is because he's just that damn good.
Kenny Omega and Don Callis have made history.
Collecting gold all over the world.
I think Kenny Omega is the best one-on-one wrestler in the world today.
AEW has relied on Kenny to carry the load.
Kenny Omega is as advertised. He is tremendous.
Not many men can say they've beaten Kenny Omega inside an AEW ring. Christian Cage is one of them.
Where you gotta look right now, what's happening with Christian Cage since he's came to AEW. He's undefeated in singles competition. He has pinned Kenny Omega already for the Impact Championship.
He has charisma, he has talent.
He's hungry, and a veteran, hungry wrestler are the most dangerous kind.
He beat Kenny Omega.
So now Christian has that momentum rolling in.
Kenny Omega and I have won so many titles around the world. Are you finished, you carny piece of shit?
Don Callis is one of the most petty and vindictive people I've ever met.
He is an underhanded, no good son of a... I don't like Don Callis. None of us like Don Callis.
Congratulations on your win over Kenny Omega.
My God, it's good to see you.
To think that what happened between Don Callis and Christian Cage will not play a factor in this match, that would be naive.
The last time I saw you was, yes, when I gave you your first break in the wrestling business, put you on national TV in Winnipeg.
How can you really say Kenny Omega's going to lose a big match?
He finds a way to win.
We're talking about Chicago. We're talking about a pay-per-view that the world's going to be watching.
I think this match is going to be unbelievable.
For a guy like Christian Cage going into a pay-per-view with this kind of momentum, might be the worst night of Kenny Omega's life.
It's Sunday. You know what that means. We are live from the sold-out Now Arena in Chicago, Illinois for the all-out buy-in. The fans are still arriving, but Tony Schiavone, time waits for no man. I am Excalibur, joined, of course, by the living legend, Tony Schiavone. And by God, we have an amazing show.
We have a spectacular show, our best pay-per-view, and it starts at the top of the hour. We want you to be a part of it. Let's take a look at this card. We are going to have CM Punk. This is the match the world's been waiting for. Taking on Darby Allin with Sting in his corner. That comes your way live tonight on pay-per-view.
AEW World Championship will be decided. Kenny Omega defends against the only man to beat him in the last 18 months, Christian Cage.
This could be the last hurrah for Chris Jericho. The final fight. If he loses, he'll never wrestle in AEW again. Certainly one of the biggest moments in Jericho's storied career.
4 decades. Being universally known as the greatest of all time. Your career is absolutely unparalleled, Christopher, and whether I, your greatest critic, cares to admit it or not, you will be forever etched in the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. But don't get it twisted, buddy. You need the spotlight. That's why you put your career on the line, Chris.
Jericho putting his career on the line in the final fight.
If you want Chris Jericho out of this ring, you're gonna have to break every bone in my body. You're gonna have to squeeze every breath out of my lungs. You don't have the balls to get rid of me.
I'm going to have the distinct honor and privilege of ending one of the greatest runs in the history of professional wrestling. Same yearning of the spotlight that got you to the dance will be the same reason why your music dies.
Will this be the final fight? Will this be the end of Chris Jericho inside an AEW ring? Find out at the top of the hour.
In addition, tonight during All Out one-on-one, Jon Moxley takes on Satoshi Kojima, who has come all the way from Japan for this fight.
Paul White makes his in-ring debut for All Elite Wrestling, where he goes one-on-one with QT Marshall, who have the factory in his corner.
AEW Women's World Championship on the line tonight. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defends against the #1 and undefeated challenger, Chris Statlander.
Whoever walks out of that Women's World Championship match will face the winner of the 21-person Casino Battle Royale. That will decide the next top contender.
Many former world champions in that one, Excalibur. In addition, can Eddie Kingston do what no one else has been able to do so far, dethrone the TNT champ Miro?
The World Tag Team Championship be on the line inside a solid steel cage. The Young Bucks defend against the Lucha Brothers.
Coming up next, it is going to be a gigantic 10-man tag, as we're going to see Orange Cassidy, members of Best Friends, and members of Jurassic Express against the Hardy Family Office.
This is a 10-man tag team match set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring, the team of Matt Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, Jack Evans, and Angelico, the Hardy Family Office.
And before this match gets underway, I want to remind everyone that there is still time to order All Out on pay-per-view. It's coming at you at the top of the hour. On pay-per-view, Bleacher Report, or Fight TV, even in the U.S. You want to order it right now, and you won't miss a second of All Out.
That's Bleacher Report and Fight.tv here in the U.S. as well. Order now, top of the hour, and I'm telling you, I'm so excited now. I'm trying to save my voice for the show, but I'm not so sure. Listen to the crowd, man. We're ready to go.
We are rocking and rolling here in Chicago. That's a good strategy, saving your voice. Never thought of that.
And their opponents first, at a total combined weight of 579 pounds, Chuck Taylor, Wheeler, and freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
These three men have really coalesced as a unit. I won't quite call them the best friends, but they're the quasi-best friends, as Wheeler Yuta, of course, the protege of Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor.
I think he's fit quite well. Fit in with them quite well.
Yeah, he compliments them, and of course, and Orange agrees.
That's about as much he wants, right?
A ringing endorsement from Orange Cassidy.
Right.
Of course, we want to give our best wishes to Trent, still recovering from that spinal fusion surgery. Hope to see him back in action soon, but for the time being, we will see Wheeler Yuta competing alongside Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy.
Being accompanied by Marco Stunt at a combined weight of 443 pounds, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express.
Tony, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus were heartbeats away from being in this steel cage match that's coming up later on tonight at All Out against the Young Bucks.
And that does not take away from how great of a tag team they are. Wins and losses matter. They just didn't happen to win that night. But I don't think there is any question that we're going to see Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus back in the tag team hunt here very, very soon.
Yeah, I think Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and the Lucha Bros, they wrestled 100 times. It might be 51-49, and it could go either way. But right now we have this huge tag team, 10-man tag team match on our hands ahead of All Out, coming at you live at the top of the hour in the sold-out Now Arena in Chicago, Illinois.
Now's your chance to be a part of it. Order it right now. You're not too late, so come on and join us for that. Look at the fans.
A tremendous atmosphere. And you can order it right now on Bleacher Report, Fight.tv around the world, United States included, or traditional pay-per-view providers.
And as we said, especially in Chicago, this being the home of CM Punk, tonight CM Punk makes his in-ring debut for the first time in 7 years. 7 years he'll be wrestling tonight against the one and only Darby Allin.
I hope Mookie got the extra insurance on the roof, because I think it's going to come off.
It could. Yeah, Matt Hardy already. Boy, look at him being physical to start.
Oh, and he backs Chuck Taylor in the corner. He wants Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, he said no, he wants Cassidy.
And this rivalry between Hardy and Orange Cassidy has been really heating up over the last few months. We saw Orange Cassidy pick up the victory over Hardy, and then Hardy sending in Jack Evans to injure Orange Cassidy. Jack didn't get the job done, and so here we are. Oh, Luchasaurus tagging himself in.
Boy. Yeah, try to shove him back to the corner, see what happens.
Matt Hardy pleading, and now tagging out to Jack Evans. Evans and Luchasaurus.
Oh, wow, Jack Evans. He was raring to go, man. I don't know if that's a good idea, not just running right straight at the big man.
And Tony, you mentioned we are in Chicago. We will see the return to the ring for the first time in 7 years of CM Punk when he goes one-on-one with Darby Allin.
That should be a physical, incredible matchup, and you can see it if you order now.
Wheelbarrow German suplex on Jack Evans by the big man, Luchasaurus.
Evans able to throw around his opponents, and the final fight, Tony, could be the end of Chris Jericho's in-ring career here in AEW.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cover, Jungle Boy.
Then tonight, a steel cage will surround the ring. The Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. Thank goodness for this, Excalibur.
Yeah, so much interference from the Elite. And then, of course, the AEW World Championship will be on the line in our main event. Kenny Omega defends against the only man to beat him in 18 months, Christian Cage.
The flexibility, and they just...
The speed, the accuracy, the everything of Jungle Boy. You could say he's a total package, Tony.
Yes, you could. And a little, well, who's going to come in now?
Wheeler Yuta and tag in, as does Isaiah Cassidy for the HFO side. Isaiah Cassidy, of course, one half of Private Party, one of the great young tag teams we have here in All Elite Wrestling. And Wheeler Yuta gets brought in by Private Party. Mark Quinn, he of the colorful hair, taking advantage on the outside, and now the cross body. Quinn, the legal man, just a 1 count for referee Paul Turner.
Takes some effort to get hair like that, but you know, since they become a member of the Hardy family office, I really think their focus is, as far as becoming World Tag Team Champs, has been put by the wayside. They're just out to do what Matt Hardy wants them to do.
They certainly are, Tony, and it could be a step back in their career. Yeah. Matt says that, you know, he and his brother Jeff were one of the great tag teams of all time, and he's right. But I think he's using that for illicit purposes as far as Private Party's concerned. And Wheeler Yuta with the Manjigatami here in the center of the ring. Jack Evans grabs an ankle lock. And now, headlock by Chuck Taylor. Isaiah Cassidy comes in. Ankle lock by Jungle Boy. Mark Quinn with the cravat. Luchasaurus.
He's looking for a place to land.
Luchasaurus.
So just jump on him.
Pushes the pile.
Oh, that's great.
And Tony, still to come as part of the all-out pay-per-view event. The AEW Women's World Championship will be on the line. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defending against the top contender, the #1 ranked Chris Statlander.
Absolutely. We'll see if she can hold on. And then the Casino Battle Royale tonight to determine who will be the next challenger for the AEW Women's World Championship. We have 3 former champions in that one, Excalibur.
We certainly do. And there will be 4 suits, 4 groups of 5, plus the Joker as part of that Casino Battle Royale. It is a true toss-up, just like Jack Evans was tossed up and brought down to earth by Luchasaurus. Wow, massive knee strike by Luchasaurus.
Well, what's he doing now? Well, he's trying to get his, there you go. He's trying to get his attention turned away because he had a couple of guys sneak up from behind. Oh, got him in the back.
The chop block by Matt Hardy. And then the stereo kicks by Private Party.
Well, Hardy family office working as a pretty good unit right here, Excalibur.
And Luchasaurus sent into that steel ring post. But look behind you, Isaiah Cassidy. It's the other Cassidy in this match. Freshly squeezed.
Hardy knew it.
Swing and a miss by Matt Hardy. He's sent outside by Orange Cassidy.
Watch out.
Private Party. Oh, just a flatliner onto the knees. And now Mark Quinn on the back of Orange Cassidy. Whoa! Shooting star press into a senton. Orange Cassidy clutching his lower back. Back elbow there by Isaiah Cassidy. Chuck Taylor in the corner. Leaps up and over. And oh, the belly-to-belly suplex. Private Party got sandwiched. Swing and a miss. DDT flatliner combo by Chuck Taylor.
Chuck Taylor, really the underrated member of Best Friends. I don't think there's any question.
Tope con hero by Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta. The diving splash. 1, 2, no.
Boy, Yuta can get some air, can he?
He certainly can, but Jack Evans with that timely intervention keeps things going for the HFO side. And now TH2, the neck breaker, back breaker combination. And Wheeler Yuta driven into the feet of Jack Evans. Hook of the far leg. Chuck Taylor kicks or breaks it up.
Great TH2 teamwork right there, Excalibur.
I want to remind everyone, All Out coming at you at the top of the hour. Order it now on Bleacher Report, Fight.tv around the world, even in the US, and on traditional pay-per-view providers. You still have a chance to order now. You won't miss a second of the action. Gin and juice by Private Party.
That's going to do it. That's going to do it.
And Helico, the legal man, makes the cover. 1, 2, no.
Oh, barely. Orange Cassidy just got the right hand, right arm in.
Listen to this crowd.
Just simply sticking his hands in his pocket, and the fans love it.
Wild swings by Angelico. The step-up Hurricane Rana by Orange Cassidy with the hands in the pockets.
Look at Private Party.
How do you prepare for somebody like Orange Cassidy?
So unorthodox. No way to prepare for him at all, Excalibur. No.
The kick up. He controls the ring, but Big Money Matt Hardy. Twist of fate. The twist of fate right on the money, but Chuck Taylor sends Matt Hardy to the outside once again. Wheeler Yuta and Chuck Taylor go over the top, takes out Private Party on the outside.
Boy, for Paul Turner to try to keep some order in this thing, crazy, right?
This is a very, very tough task. Jungle Boy inside the ring with Isaiah Cassidy. Cassidy sends on the ropes. Rebound lariat. Nobody home. Jungle Boy picks the ankle of Mark Quinn. Sheer drop brainbuster. Jungle Boy with Angelico in his sights. Now Jack Evans charges in, eats an elbow strike.
Jack, get out of here.
And look at this, Angelico with his own partner on his shoulders.
Oh, I think somebody's a little bit taller now.
Got a game of chicken inside the center of the ring.
It's like being in the pool.
A version of a doomsday device.
It's just kind of like the way they walk to the ring.
Oh, wow.
A matrix out of that.
Jungle Boy bridges up. And Isaiah, Jungle Boy countered.
Oh, the fans love this one. Incredible. Ledger.
The pump kick, that was the Blade.
What the hell?
The Blade, another member of HFO.
Marco Stunt.
Marco Stunt soars above the Now Arena. The tail whip to Angelico. And Jungle Boy, the legal man, as well as Angelico. The legs are locked. The snare trap is cinched in. Angelico, will he tap? Yes, he will.
The team of Chuck Taylor, Wheeler Yuta, Orange Cassidy, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus.
What a victory for this team of the Jurassic Express, Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, and Chuck Taylor.
And they had the odds against them as well, in many ways. Let's take a look once again at some of the action, what went down. We saw some spectacular moves on both ends. Chuck Taylor over the top, and then there's
Wheeler Yuta just flying sky high. Jungle Boy, the action was just almost too fast to call with the snare trap. That submission hold for Jungle Boy has been so useful, such a vital part of his arsenal, Tony.
It really has, and Jungle Boy with the snare trap, we're going to see it. I know Jungle Boy get a world title shot down the road, maybe sooner than later.
And we could see the Jurassic Express also being the top contenders for the World Tag Team Championship as well very soon. Whoever walks out of All Out, whoever walks on that steel cage match, better look over their shoulder for Jurassic Express. And you know what they... Whoa. Oh, wait a second. Jack Evans and the HFO.
Look at this. Look at it.
It's the Butcher.
The Butcher's not been around for, what, 7 months?
The Butcher returning to action and destroying Orange Cassidy.
Butcher, Blade, and there you see the leader of the HFO in there directing traffic.
The mercenaries for Matt Hardy, the Butcher, and the Blade. Laying waste to Orange Cassidy.
You're not done here. What?
This is completely uncalled for, completely unnecessary. Matt Hardy is...
Oh, here comes Jungle Boy.
Jurassic Express. I think Matt Hardy was going to try to embarrass.
The Blondes have come out.
The Varsity Blondes. There's
Dante Martin is here.
John Silver. And number 10 of the Dark Order. Jack Evans is going to try to cut Orange Cassidy's hair off.
That's the way it looked. You can hear him saying, we're going to give you a trim. We're going to cut your hair.
Well, it looks like the quasi-best friends have some other good friends there in the back. But the HFO, now that the Butcher is bolstering their ranks, Tony, they just become a more and more formidable team.
Well, it was a great win and a great match. It was almost ruined by the antics of the Hardy family office.
Wow. The HFO, Jack Evans with the, you see the shears in hand. Tony, this was an incredible start to an amazing night of action. We will see CM Punk return to the ring for the first time in over 7 years right here in his hometown of Chicago.
It's going to be electric, Excalibur, no question. Go ahead, buddy.
You got to give the people what they want.
Oh, there you go. It's always good to have friends, even if they're not your best friends.
But coming up at the top of the hour, Tony, we are just mere minutes away. All Out, live on pay-per-view, traditional pay-per-view providers, Fight.tv, even in the U.S., and Bleacher Report. You have no excuse. It is coming your way, top of the hour.
Well, here's the Hardy family office. They are staying put in the middle. Well, at least they were for a moment, and now Matt said, let's go. I thought we were going to have another brawl outside up the rampway or something.
Well, I think Matt Hardy's too smart for that. He counted the numbers. He saw how many friends the best friends had. And he knew it would be a losing battle. But you see the Butcher and the Blade still at the top of the ramp. They're spoiling for a fight.
Wow, what a way to kick things off here, Excalibur. And I know there's so many matches, so many things to look forward to coming up at the top of the hour. Obviously, CM Punk and Darby Allin are what everyone here in Chicago, really around the world, wants to see. But I think we can finally see Kenny Omega dethroned as the AEW World Champion.
Yeah, Christian Cage has done it once on the debut episode of AEW Rampage. Christian Cage pinned Kenny Omega in the center of the ring. The first time it happened in 18 months. Can history repeat itself here tonight in Chicago? And of course, Tony, the AEW Women's World Championship is on the line. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, against the undefeated Chris Statlander.
It's Chris Statlander's chance to become the AEW Women's World Champion, and because she's the #1 contender, because she has not lost a match since she's returned, certainly it's, I don't know what Orange is doing here.
Statlander was out for injury for 10 months, right? But she has been undefeated since her return. And then, of course, the Casino Battle Royale to determine the next woman to challenge either Dr. Britt Baker or Chris Statlander, Tony. 21 contenders. We know 20 of them. There is the Joker.
And we have no idea who the Joker is. Unknown as of right now. But the fans are just electric here. I mean, we're going to be taking the air with our pay-per-view All Out at the top of the hour. But right now, these fans are, as if I can use the old cliche, Excalibur, at a fever pitch.
Fever pitch unglued, if you will.
Absolutely.
And of course, Tony, the steel cage match to decide the AEW World Tag Team Championship. We have seen so much outside interference from the elite. Tony Khan made this match inside the steel cage. Young Bucks and Lucha Bros.
It's been too much. I mean, it's a good decision because anytime the Young Bucks were in a tag match, we saw what happened.
Absolutely. But right now, we want to give you a special look at a new program from All Elite Wrestling, a look inside of the Rhodes family. Let's take a look at Rhodes to the Top.
Let's keep making them happen.
Hey, how are you?
I'm very hungover. I'm gonna go throw up and pass out.
Cody's friends definitely out where they're welcome.
Never. I know Brandy worries that I take too much on.
You're prioritizing other things over the baby.
This is gonna be the craziest year of our lives.
That'll be coming your way Wednesday, September 29th. And Tony, little known fact for the folks at home, there was actually two handles
I have a lot to say about this company and all of you idiots that make up its fan base. But it was made crystal clear to me when I pulled up to the arena that former UFC heavyweight champions Andre Arlovsky and Junior Dos Santos, together with BMF champion Jorge Masvidal, and the men of the year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, are here for a little less talk and a lot more action.
I love you, Dan.
Dan Lambert.
Hey, I'm very glad you reached out to us. I really am. But it makes total sense. Everybody knows the men of the year are two very handsome, fashionable men. They have eyes. Everybody knows we love to talk our trash and flap our gums. We've got the gift of gab. They have ears. But this roster already knows the men of the year are extremely dangerous men. But sometimes you have to take it to the next level. And by that I mean we have to step out of our comfort zone and back in to the danger zone. With our friends, American Top Team.
So we have UFC fighters in the building. Scorpio Sky has his new 5-year extension signed, sealed, and delivered. Ethan Page is always looking to feed his ego. The only thing these guys are waiting for is my instruction on whose asses need to be kicked and when. You think tonight's necessary?
Super necessary.
Wow, Dan Lambert bringing UFC champions alongside the men of the year. And this is, I don't even know. I mean, they are putting all of AEW on notice, Tony.
I think they put them on notice for tonight, Excalibur. 3 world champions there, and they said, yeah, why not tonight? We'll see what happens.
Wow, this is a tremendous development worth keeping your eye on. But Tony, coming up at the top of the hour, all out on pay-per-view.
AEW World title is on the line. Kenny Omega with Don Callis in his order against the Impact champion Christian Cage. That'll be coming up a little bit later on the night. Can Kenny Omega beat Christian Cage tonight?
Will it be the final fight of Chris Jericho? He will take on MJF. Of course, Jericho had to agree to those 5 labors to get his hands on MJF, and MJF defeating Jericho in the labors. But now Jericho has put his AEW in-ring career on the line against MJF tonight at All Out.
Cage will be lowered, and then finally we will have a fair fight with the Young Bucks, the steel cage match. The Young Bucks will defend the AEW World Tag Team Championship against the Lucha Brothers. We have seen these two teams have great matches, including a great ladder match not that long ago. It should be spectacular tonight on pay-per-view.
It was 2 years ago in this very building,
wow.
Tony.
How about that?
And the TNT Championship will be on the line. The undefeated champion, the Redeemer, Miro, against the Mad King, Eddie Kingston. We saw it get wild last Friday night on Rampage. We will see these two behemoths collide on pay-per-view.
We've talked so much about Tony Khan being the forbidden door. Well, the forbidden door is opened up once again. John Moxley will take on Satoshi Kojima. A real tremendous matchup here tonight for these two men, and it should get very physical, Excalibur.
Oh, absolutely. Kojima, the king of the lariat. Moxley, better watch out. But Tony, your broadcast partner on AEW Dark Elevation every Monday night on YouTube. Paul White will see his first action inside an AEW ring as he goes one-on-one with QT Marshall of the Factory. And we know this has been a deeply personal story for you, Tony. And Paul White has a chance to wring QT's scrawny little neck.
Want to see a big choke slam here and the AEW Women's World Championship match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, I think you'll agree, Excalibur, she has been quite the champion, but she is really in for a fight tonight. Chris Statlander is not only undefeated and the #1 contender, but she's one of the best athletes in the women's division.
Yeah, Statlander at the top of her game, and whoever walks out of that Women's World Championship match will have to contend with the winner of the Casino Battle Royale. 21 women are entering for a shot at the AEW World Championship, Women's World Championship. So many former world champions in that match, it's really anybody's game.
And since he shockingly walked into the ring here in Chicago, downtown at the United Center on September 20th, the world has been waiting for this match. CM Punk returns to action. He said the one man he wanted to face would be Darby Allin, and he will face Darby Allin one-on-one, and that's coming up tonight on pay-per-view.
Get up out the way now.
CM Punk has arrived in All Elite Wrestling.
Quiet, don't make sounds. I'ma get it like that.
Darby Allin, there's nothing you could do that is more dangerous than wrestling CM Punk.
See, I'm one of the greats. All the others keep coming in fake.
The eyes of the world will be on Chicago, Illinois, as CM Punk makes his return to the ring for the first time in over 7 years.
When you collide, it's gonna be showtime.
It's my bang, a bang, a bang, a bang, bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang. This my slang, bang, change the game, it's insane.
GTS!
Bring the pain, hey!
There is still time to order All Out on pay-per-view, Bleacher Report, or Fight.tv. You want to do it right now. You do not want to miss the return to the ring of CM Punk when he takes on Darby Allin later on tonight. And let's throw it down to the dapper yapper, Justin Roberts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Hall of Fame voice of professional wrestling, Jim Ross.
Tony Schiavone, I can't say it often enough. I am privileged to work with the best team in all of pro wrestling.
He's the man.
You included.
Well, thank you. It's great to be working with you, Excalibur, and certainly the man himself. Get on in here, cowboy. How you doing, buddy?
As JR gets situated, want to remind everybody that there is still time. You still have time to order All Out on pay-per-view. It's coming at you on the top of the hour. Available traditional pay-per-view providers, Fight.tv around the world, even in the United States, and on Bleacher Report. You have no excuse. All Out coming your way in just a matter of moments. JR, excited to have you here for this big show.
I wouldn't miss this for anything in the world. I've done a lot of pay-per-views around the world. I've never, ever been more excited about a pay-per-view than this event that's coming up in about a minute.
We've been to a broadcast team since October 2nd of 2019. I think this is our most anticipated night for all of us together.
Oh, absolutely, Tony. There is so much interest in this pay-per-view event. It is my privilege to be able to call the action alongside you two men. All Out coming to you at the top of the hour. CM Punk returns to the ring for the first time in 7 years to take on Darby Allin.
Absolutely, the final fight. Could it be the last match in AEW for Chris Jericho? Well, he puts his AEW career on the line. We'll find out.
The steel cage match, JR. Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros.
Boy, something's got to give there, fellas. Something's got to give.
Absolutely. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, defends the AEW Women's World Championship against the talented Chris Statlander.
Statlander hasn't lost, and she's the #1 contender. How much bigger could it get?
And speaking of undefeated, the undefeated TNT champion, the Redeemer Miro, takes on Eddie Kingston, and the legendary Satoshi Kojima arrives in All Elite Wrestling to take on Jon Moxley.
Paul White, QT Marshall. I'm counting on a big choke slam to knock QT Marshall right out.
And the Casino Battle Royale, all of that coming your way in just a matter of minutes, JR.
Pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. Join us. You'll never regret it.